Hello everybody, welcome to a new encounter. In today's video, we are going to have the following topic related to the philosophical question of the finitude of life, the shortness of life, and the importance of having the clear perspective regarding our transcendence, our acts. It is said that at the time of a Roman conquest, when there was a great victory in the Roman army, the generals were victorious and they had the custom of doing a great parade in the city of Rome, in which they welcomed the troops and they welcomed the general in a triumphant parade, and people were shouting on the streets. Everybody was celebrating happiness, and then the general, who was leading the procession, and everybody acclaiming him as the great and victorious hero, right behind him, while everybody was shouting and happy, right behind the general, there was a slave, a man that perhaps people didn't notice, and he was constantly saying in the ear of the commander, "Remember that thou art mortal. Remember that you also will die." And it's amazing if we think about this, because imagine a military parade with thousands of people on the street shouting happiness and saying so many great things to this man, to this hero, and a man behind him telling him, "Remember that you will die. Remember that you are mortal." And it's amazing because, in fact, this was done as a reminder that our ego should never encapsulate us into thinking that we are perhaps something, or we are greater than someone else, or that we have almost, some people think of themselves as a divine, as in fact the Roman emperors at some point, they considered themselves divine because they had so much power and authority, and other people who had so much knowledge, they thought of themselves invulnerable, with the ability of committing no sin, sinless people, perfect people, individual perfect knowledge, this, that. And it's a constant reminder. It's known, in fact, as in Latin, it's known as Memento Mori, meaning the moment of death. It's a reminder of the mortality. Every human being, as is written in the Quran, will taste death. Therefore, the importance of always examining ourselves, examining our acts, our deeds, and then see if we have to correct certain things. It's a reminder that we are here on this earth not to live forever, but for a shortness period of time. We cannot waste the time that has been given to us, because when the book is closed, the time is over. Then we will have to render an account to our Creator of the things that we have done and the things that we didn't do. Because we will be asked also, why you didn't do this and that? No, I had no time. Oh, I didn't know. There's no excuse. That's why of the importance of examining each single day of our lives, putting things in order, working on ourselves. If you have disagreements with your husband, with your wife, with your mom, with your neighbors, with your friends, forget the mistakes. Forgive others. If you have to work on your characters because perhaps you are a little bit arrogant, or you have a very tough character that you despise others, perhaps thinking that you are better than someone else just because you are smarter, or because you have wealth, or because you have an important position either in the government or in the community. These are nonsense and foolish thoughts. No human being is better than another one. Just because you have been appointed to a good position, or because you have acquired some knowledge or some money or this or properties, doesn't make you better than anyone else. Be thankful that God, the same one who has elevated you to such a high position, is the one who could also bring you down. He puts up kings and takes them out also. The time is short, the shortness of life. Sometimes we think that, well, I'll do this tomorrow. I will fix things tomorrow. Tomorrow becomes never sometimes. It's like the great philosopher Seneca, used to advise in the importance of setting things straight, because you don't know if when you go to sleep, you don't know if you will wake up. Therefore, if there is a grudge in your heart, if there is a difference with someone else, now is the time to go and ask for forgiveness. Now is the time to go and say, I'm sorry, I apologize, forgive me, let's be friends again. Let me show you my love. Let me help you again. Or allow the person also to come. When it's coming to you asking for forgiveness, allow the person also to in fact show true acts of repentance. Try always to fix things. Remember in the mortality of things. There's something important that I don't advise because it's not for everybody, but it's significant to notice that the different currents of mysticism, there's a practice of certain people to visit the graves, and not because nothing out of the ordinary, but as a reminder that when you visit the cemetery, you see all these graves, makes you humble, because you know that one day you will be among those who are on the ground. You know that you are mortal. Therefore, control your ego. Don't see yourself as something, because we are nothing before our Creator. We are all equal. All human beings have been created in the image of God. Every single human being on earth has been created in the image of God. And at the end, each human being has a divine soul. It's a part, something that comes from the Creator, and the soul is going to return to God also. That's why the great Ibn Arabi explains, what does it mean that man has been created in the image of God? We're talking in spiritual terms, the soul. The soul also will have to go back and render an account to the Creator for the time in which we were on earth. If we were able to work on ourselves, if we purify our hearts, our deeds, our actions, because perhaps there are people, maybe, that they might be religious people, for example, and you see them doing great show off and good deeds and this, and you might be impressed, but you don't know what's in the heart of this person. Maybe, God willing, is something good, but sometimes there are people who do things just to be known, or to show off, or to get the glory of man, of people, of to have a position of importance. And the reality is that inside the heart, God sees what's in the heart, and He can sense if a person is really kind, humble, if someone has really worked on his or her removing this rust from the heart, and allow the light of God into your heart. And when the love of God is into your heart, then you are able to give love also to others, because you cannot give what you don't have. Therefore, if someone is kind, is a kind person, is a kind individual, is able to show love, is able to forgive, is able to be compassionate, even it doesn't matter if the person is not that smart intellectually perhaps, but if someone is able to have this kind and noble character, you know that in the heart, this is a person who sees himself with humility, who remembers that we are mortal, that we will die, that we are but servants of the Creator, that each human being, me, you, everybody, we are simply servants of God. And a servant is not better than another servant. A slave is the same as another slave. Just because the master has appointed you to a position of importance in administering his house, it doesn't mean that you are better than another slave. You are still a slave of the master. And in His eyes, He will judge all His servants, all His slaves. Therefore, the importance of humility, the importance of kindness, the importance of purifying the heart, the importance of being grateful for whatever God has given us, for whatever God has given you, the importance of not holding any grudge in people's heart, in your heart, the importance of forgiving, and remembering that at the end, the thing that matters is what God will say about you. It's not what people will say, speak anyway. If you have done good, they will speak. If you have done bad, they will speak. Good or bad, people talk anyways. But you shouldn't care more the opinions of others than the opinion of God, because sometimes people might judge you or think wrong of you, or perhaps might distrust you or something. But at the end, the importance is that God knows the heart. God knows you. Who are you in your heart? And the reward will come from Him, not from anyone else. Therefore, humility. Remember, our mortality is a constant reminder of that. So, this is the message that I want to convey today. It's known again as Memento Mori. It's very interesting because it comes from the time of the Greeks and the great philosophers. Remember that also you will die. And every human being will taste death. It's written already. So the importance then of always working on ourselves. There's no time to waste our lives being angry, upset, following banal desires of the world perhaps. I'm not saying that it's not important to perhaps try to achieve things in life. It's important. But also there's a balance in things. Nothing should be more important than the service of God. Nothing should be more important than having a good standing before the Creator of the world. We don't know when are we going to die. We could go to sleep, we might not wake up. You might go out of the house and you might not know if you will come back. Therefore, get ready every single day to leave the world if you have to, because we don't know. Therefore, the importance of each single day should be a day of reflection, introspection, examining your deeds, your actions, your relations with your dear ones, with your friends, with your community. And at the end, whenever we leave this earth, people will remind us for the good that we have done. And this is important. I want to thank you so much as always. And God willing, we'll see each other in the next video.